the government wants this to be a highly industrialized country by 2040. And these are the key things that we need to look at. How do we, as people come in to support the government, to ensure that it becomes that by such projects, when we can actually invest in such projects and also make our cities look better and comparable, then the levels of income will be high.
Uganda holds lots of minerals and precious stones worth millions of tons in deposits and value across the country. This is one among the opportunities that Moses Bashasha seized to kickstart an enterprise of mining and producing the much touted tiles and granite materials so much required in the construction industry.
Uganda has vast natural resources. The stones that you're seeing here around me can drive us to produce for more than 500 years plus. We can produce for our own nation, we can even produce for the international market, even our regional communities. So, and this is just like a hundredth of the resources like this that Uganda has. So, in terms of resources, we have enough, we have more than enough. What we need is to actually come up with such kind of groups and investment companies to invest in such projects so that we can have a variety of products like what BML has had.
Following travel experiences drawn from luxurious markets in Europe, Asia and the United States over the years, Bashasha, together with his partners, conceived the idea of search for commercially viable but untapped deposits of granite material to fulfill their production dream.
These are ideas. You have traveled, you go to airports, go to Rome, you go to China, you find all their airports are made out of granite. You go, some of the major bridges, most of the barriers are made out of the granite. In Milan, in Rome, most of the shoulders on roads, walkways are made out of product. And the strength and the duration or the age factor of granite is almost lifeless. This is a product that is not going to age now. It has a life over time. So when we see ourselves as Uganda, and we see the vast resources that we have, and we have not tapped them into, it creates a vacuum into you as a person. And when a group of people can come together and say, hey, look, let's tap into this potential and build a country, because this is not done on mostly an individual basis. It is done to also build the country in terms of infrastructure so that our country can look as good.
At what is today MBL, or this quarry in Mwenda district, this entrepreneur is today contributing to carving out of raw materials for the production of granite, a much sought after tile for finishing of buildings.
When we cut and get out our blocks, we transport them using our tractors and take them to the factory. When we get to the factory, we have our forklifts that lift those blocks and takes them on the saw machines. We have various saw machines. We have 4 of them that slice. Once these blocks are there, the saw machines slice those products depending on what final product we are going to get. If it is a curbstone, then that means we'll have to cut bigger blocks. If it is a tile, depending on the millimeter, whether it is 10, 15, 20, we shall cut the respective dimensions. If it is a kitchen top, which is 20 millimeters and long, maybe 1 meter or 2 meters, we cut along those dimensions.
But what exactly are these line of products that Bashasha is producing right here in Uganda today?
Final product. We make various products. By the way, we have kitchen tops, we have floor tiles, we have wall tiles, we have claddings, we have curbstones, we have pavers, we have building blocks. So all those products that I've talked about are made out of this stone. We don't manufacture, but we produce. We cut out from natural stone. But to get to that,
how do we start?
Yeah, the process starts with quarrying the stone, cutting the stone. And BML has invested heavily in a state-of-art technology of cutting this stone. We use what they call the diamond wire technology, which uses diamond wire saw machines. These machines are environmentally friendly. They don't cause pollution, they don't make noise. Where we are producing all this granite and quarrying it from our quarry, we actually do not have an impact on the other users of the land. People can still till while we are having that.
He furthermore explains the processes involved in ensuring quality items under the above categories are churned out.
This abrasive polishing machine has a 9-step process from number 1 up to number 9 to polish the surface of the stone so that it glitters and it is very smooth and the colors of the stone come out with no additives. This is 100% natural, purely natural. From the wire saw machine, we can take it either to the polishing machine or we directly cut it. If we need an unpolished product, we take it directly to the infrared bridge cutters. These infrared bridge cutters are automated machines. You just feed in the dimensions and it will cut out anything that you want. So we can cut out tiles, anything, kitchen tops, pavers, everything is cut there.
Beyond production, Bashasha says that the existing demand across the new and existing homes in Uganda remains the major overriding factor for them to keep in business.
You go to visit every household, there is a kitchen, there is a floor. All these can use our products. And people have not been using or using inferior products in their kitchens. You go to visit every household, there is a kitchen, there is a floor. All these can use our products. And people have not been using or using inferior products in their kitchens, reason being they perceive imported as being very expensive. But in this case, BML came out that it should venture into this kind of project to provide such.
A confident Bashasha says the risk levels associated with this enterprise remains low, even against established imports from external markets.
Reason is people are still thinking that these are products for the rich. People who should afford this should be the rich people, but this is not the case because the similar products or the substitute products are always imported. But when we set out and set our showroom in Lugogo Uma Showground on plot 136, 135 in Uma Showgrounds, and people came to visit us, they were very impressed. First of all, most people couldn't even imagine that these products are locally produced. But we have told reason is people are still thinking that these are products for the rich. People who should afford these should be the rich people, but this is not the case because the similar products or the substitute products are always imported. But when we set out and set our showroom in Lugogo Uma Showground on plot 136, 135 in Uma Showgrounds, and people came to visit us, they were very impressed.
With various forms of real estate now popping up in the country, this entrepreneur believes that opportunities for production lines are still long and wide.
Yes, so floor tiles can be used for floors in houses, in big malls, for if you actually are experiencing heavy traffic in your area, then the best product to use is Granite product because it doesn't fade, it is not permeable, it doesn't allow water to go through, and it is long lasting. The more it stays, the better, and you don't need to polish it again. Once you've polished it, that's it. It is polished once and it will keep shining. You'll have curbstones to use on the roadsides of all these. Look at our city in Kampala. It's alongside the walkways, alongside the garden, the green areas. All these have curbstones. We can do curbstones for that. We can have pavers, large areas, large parking areas that need to be durable. Then you will need a granite paver. It's not like a concrete paver that will wear over time. No. Once you install this paver, you have installed this paver for life.
He also says that since the commencement of MBL in business, a wide array of ripple benefits have resulted in the economy.
Notwithstanding, when you look at the kind of the technology skill invested in this, it is highly technical. But BML went ahead to actually have most of its employees trained abroad in those places where they manufacture this kind of equipment. And after, we emphasized that we must use the local populace to actually work with us to transfer those the technical skills that we acquired, invest them in the local people. They become part of us, they own us, and we also they can have a high level of technical skill that they are not exposed to. Yeah. So after a long time, these people are now I would call them technicians or engineers by acquiring the skill that we transferred to them.
The firm is also scaling up its investment and innovation threshold, a factor he believes would assist in keeping with the competition in the marketplace.
In the next 5 years, definitely we are planning to expand our business to other areas, in especially acquiring more stones of different colors, so that we can have a variety of colors that we actually offer to our customers. And I am very sure in the next 5 years we shall be the leading players in the region, yeah, in offering quality dimensional granite products. Okay. Yeah.
Even then, a host of challenges synonymous any capital-intensive enterprises of this type have not bypassed MBL.
When this investment started, we were using only equity finance, the equity from shareholders that pulled up. But as time went on, we needed to expand. We needed to bring in more machines. We had anticipated to use 2-3 machines, but we saw that in order to be competitive and to beat this market, we need to expand. We went for loans, and we are actually now heading for another expansion phase, which shall come in another 1 or 2 years. So I am seeing a lot of growth from the time when we started and to where we are. I'm seeing a lot of life improvement in terms of everyone who is committed to this cause, and even people who are employed and directly, and the other people who are indirectly employed. We use a lot of engine oil, diesel engine oil, but all these come at a cost. They don't come in cheaply. So sometimes if the taxes on such items for upcoming, Ugandan investments like these ones are subsidized, then it becomes easier for such a venture to progress at a very high rate when the costs are minimal. The issue of power. Power is very intermittent. Like we are working, after 1 hour, power goes off, it again comes. Then also the cost of power, the charges, the tariffs are very high. That is one. Then 2, there is a high cost of financing. The interest charged on loans, it's very high, because with this kind of investment you can't keep a status quo. You need to keep on improving. You need to keep on importing new machinery as technology changes. You also need to come in and get new technologies that have come up in the market to improve your production capacities.
All the same, the future is looking bright in his own vision. Bashasha says a broader business vision has since been developed that they are looking to implement through their strategic plan.
And the future of this industry is very bright. I can tell you this. Reason is, we are the first people to venture into this. In other 2, 3, 4 years, other players will come into the market, because the raw materials they are massive. You can't finish them. So having other 5 or 10 players in the market is very competitive, is very healthy, because we shall offer various technologies, various products, various finishes, various colors. Now that shall enclose that shall close off the import gap. And the way I see where the Ugandan construction industry is going, we still have a big potential that with even us BML cannot fill up that vacuum. So if other players come in the market, then the whole process shall be complete and we shall have a complete value chain. Yeah.
Out of their ambit, Bashasha expects an elaborate review of the education system in order to support a pool development of indigenous technical skills for sustained mineral-driven business.
I think the education system must ensure that it emphasizes the issue of people having the right skills to do these jobs. Because you see, with these technical skills, with polytechnical skills, you don't need to go and you become a job creator. You don't actually become a job seeker. You can always do your own things that can be used into other industries.
This is Bashasha's part showed for Uganda's vast and young population facing unemployment at a record 75% plus.
This industry, especially what BML ventured into, has a lot of potential in terms of our local market, in terms of our local industry that produces this, what I would call the Juwakal metal workshop. Because with time and time on, we have cut out importation of certain parts. We actually take these parts to these people, the fabricators, and they have managed to fabricate them. So, which means we are also transferring some income that we get to these people, which who end up also improving their levels of living. So it encompasses, it does not only drive only the construction sector by offering the final product, but also there is a backward linkage of these people who actually help us fabricate some of the spare parts that we no longer import.
And the number one challenge that came across was they lacked manpower, the right manpower. So that is what propelled me.